I am prepared to admit that I am in tears over Gaza every morning when I wake up. Papa, Papa, I want to go home. Papa, please take me home. And the second verse is, Mama, Mama, Daddy stopped breathing. Mama.
Who are you talking about though?
I'm talking about children dying under the rubble. When I take my stand for human rights, I'm not mucking around. I'm serious about it. And I don't care what they throw at me. And we know who I'm talking about. And they are very powerful.
Well, who are you talking about?
The Israeli lobby, obviously. Well, actually, it's not just the Israeli lobby. It's the war machine as well. It's the war lobby.
Well, let me play you a clip. This is from a month ago. It's from your own YouTube channel.
Okay.
It's called Resist the Genocide. And you said this.
When this is all over, Israel is going to have to apologize, not just to the Palestinians, but to the whole of the rest of the world. Say we're very sorry, we got it all completely wrong, and we are now leaving to go back to Eastern Europe or the United States or wherever we came from, and leave these people, the Palestinian people, people whose land this is, so that if they can, rebuild and live in peace.
Well, hang on, you didn't play the rest of it. Well, it said, of course, any of you who want to stay will be welcome to stay as citizens of this new state.
But the state, to be clear, would be Palestine.
My personal opinion is that that would be what it should be called. It was called Palestine up to 1948.
When you say that all the Israelis should just, up 7 million of them,
Well, hang on,
should just get up and go.
All right, let me have my say. I am prepared to admit that I am in tears over Gaza every morning when I wake up, because I'm only 80 years old. I have never experienced the genocide of a whole people in front of my eyes, happening every day. The calumny.
Well, you have.
The
Well, with respect, you have. You were born in World War II when there was an actual genocide of Jewish people by the Nazis.
I was that big. I was that big. I didn't witness
You were alive,
that.
is my point.
Well, but I wasn't talking about being alive. I'm saying I never witnessed it. You can't witness something.
But 6 million Jews were killed
You
by
cannot
the
witness
Nazis.
something. Well, I'm not saying they weren't.
Right.
And was that a disgusting, awful crime? Yeah, it was. Just like this one is a disgusting, awful
But
crime.
my question for
There's
you-
no difference.
But Roger,
We, the people of the world, whatever the...
But you don't speak for the whole world, do you?
God's sake.
Well, come on, Roger. We have a civilised conversation.
No, you can't have a civilised conversation with somebody who constantly interrupts.
Okay. Nor can you speak unfettered without me correcting some of the things you're saying or challenging.
I was about to say something,
Okay.
and you're doing it again.
My apologies.
Accept your apology.
Thank you.
Please don't do it again, Piers. Right. Most of the people of the world do not want the Israelis to continue in their inexorable course to the end of their extermination of the indigenous people of Palestine. That's all I'm saying. So if you say there are two possible alternatives, a two-state solution, and that's been on the table, let us not forget, certainly since the end of the 67 war. And let's not go back into the old stuff about, oh, well, the Palestinians turned it down. No, they don't. That is a barefaced lie.
Well, Arafat did.
No, he didn't. That is a barefaced lie. I'm not going to argue the toss with you. I know it is. If you don't know it is, you haven't yet done the reading.
Well, I have, and I've actually interviewed people like Bill Clinton who were involved in it.
Bill Clinton. Dear God. Anyway, I won't go
You would
down
believe
that.
Arafat over Clinton?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. Arafat's dead, sadly.
Let's go back to October the 7th, 2023, when the Hamas attacks occurred. Do you condemn what Hamas did?
I condemn the killing of civilians, always, whoever does it, wherever it is. I condemn war crimes. I would love to know what happened on October the 7th so that we can all have a proper... Well, the Israelis won't allow
We suggested
any
it might be
investigation.
he suggested it might be a false flag operation.
Well,
Implying that Israel
excuse
created
me. Hang on, maybe false flag's not exactly the right word, but why did
it's obviously not the
hang
right
on,
word.
can I finish?
But you're wrong,
All right, I'm not.
Roger. It obviously wasn't a false flag. And the reason we know that is that Hamas broadcast in real time through video to social media what they were doing. There's nothing false flag
Listen,
about it.
I'm not saying that part of the Palestinian resistance movement didn't cross that wire fence into what's called...
2,000 of them
Hang
did.
on, or 2,000, however many, it doesn't really matter how many it was. I'm not saying they didn't do that. I'm not saying that that didn't happen at all. What I'm saying is, there's all this talk about, does Israel have a right to defend itself? Why didn't Israel defend itself that morning? Why did they wait 7 hours before they started machine
It was a
gunning
catastrophic
everyone?
failure of defence and security.
And this is the most efficient security
Yeah, it's catastrophic. That's
organisation.
why when this is over,
All right, you don't want to have that conversation, neither do I, but wouldn't it
I
be
just
great...
answered you what I think
Hang
happened.
on, wouldn't it be great to have that conversation at some... And wouldn't it be great if we could have an actual real investigation beyond the very good Al Jazeera documentary that we all saw that came out and all the great work that the Grey Zone and Electronic Intifada people did in debunking all the filthy, disgusting lies that the Israelis told after October the 7th.
Like what?
About burning babies and women being raped, which were all completely...
Actually, women were raped.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
Well, there's no evidence.
It's been established by the
You
United
can say
Nations.
anything that you want, but there's no evidence.
Actually, there is extensive evidence.
There is no
of sexual
evidence.
assault and
All
rape. Well, there is.
Okay, well, all right, now.
Also, we know what Hamas broadcast on
Roger,
social media.
calm down. Roger, don't sink to this level. All right, I won't.
What level?
Well, stop shouting. Stop shouting back. Don't interrupt you as much as you. Okay, sorry, Piers, what were you saying?
Look, let's not prolong the discussion about whether you believe what happened on October the 7th, other than me just to simply ask you.
Wouldn't it be nice to be able to look at all the evidence and come to a grown-up conclusion rather than just saying this happened or that happened? I know you believe nonsense that you're told by Zaka and other people who made up tons of lies about October.
Who's Zaka? Sorry.
Oh, don't be silly.
Who is that? Who are you talking about?
You are kidding now.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Zaka, organisation collecting bodies, paramedic.
I've never heard of it.
Well, you have no right to be having this conversation at all. What you have to do now, Piers, is go and look through all the documentation that there is and all the video evidence that there is of those paramedic people lying about burnt babies and rape and babies in ovens and all the atrocity stories that came out immediately
What about
after,
ones-
excuse me, I haven't finished, immediately after October the 7th, that gave impetus to the idea somehow that to commit genocide on the people of Gaza would be a reasonable defence against all those atrocities.
Do you think Hamas killed anybody that day?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, and they probably kill civilians as well.
Were they acts of terrorism?
To kill a civilian is a war crime.
Act of terror?
Well, to use the word terrorism is really dangerous and difficult because you have to remember that people fighting on behalf of Palestine liberation have a legal and moral, what's the word I'm trying to search for? Not just a right. They
Right
have
to defend themselves?
No, they have a right to fight back against the oppressor.
But they don't have a right to commit war crimes.
If somebody invades your country, kicks all your people out of their homes, steals everything and stealing all your land and occupies all your land for 75 years, you have an absolute right to armed resistance.
But not to commit war
against
crimes.
that invader. I'm watching a genocide. I wake up in tears every morning.
Yeah, but people
don't you
might-
understand? Don't you get it? The state of Israel is how to get it into your thick head. They're committing genocide.
Yes.
They're killing every single Palestinian. They're going to kill every Palestinian
Well, they're
in
not
the
gonna
West
kill
Bank.
every
Their
Palestinian.
dream, and their leaders have said that, is Eretz Israel. Every single bit of was once Palestine
They're not going to
becomes
kill every
Israel.
Palestinian,
Why?
obviously.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're not.
Well, they're trying to. Why
Well,
don't
they're
they
trying to
stop?
kill every member of Hamas.
Well, what?
I personally believe, as I know you do, that I think they have the response has been massively disproportionate. And way too many Palestinian civilians have died. And because the population is half under 18, it is absolutely outrageous now that so many young people have been killed. But that doesn't change the fact that
They said-
364 Israeli civilians
They said-
and other nationalities were killed that day at a music
Where's my
festival.
camera?
And when
So-
Bono sings a song about them and pays a tribute to them, you attack him.
They said to me, don't raise your voice. You know what he's like? And I said, yeah, I do.
What am I like?
See, he's like that. All right. This is a complete false equivalence.
I'm not making a false equivalence.
He's interrupting again.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the camera. The oppressor, the state of Israel, is committing genocide on a whole people, okay? Some of the people in the prison where the genocide is being committed resisted the genocide on October the 7th. And some people in Israel were killed, and I feel for them and their families. But let's not forget where all this started. It started in May. I believe it was May. May even have been the 15th of May, 1948, at the Nakba. It's one set of people trying to steal a whole land from another set of people.
Rehberimiz ufuklara koşuyoruz. Yüreğimiz bayrak açtı.